So the TLDR is that the 13 Pro Plus is really awesome if you don't care much for taking pictures, you occasionally browse YouTube or videos online, and the ads aren't that annoying. Otherwise, this thing is pretty awesome. When you have Apple and Samsung dominating the market, companies like Xiaomi work incredibly hard to provide so much value at an affordable price point and many reasonable prices for the majority of people. And with technology getting so good over the last couple of years, companies like Xiaomi can provide so much value at a competitive price. As a result, I think this phone and most mid-tier phones will satisfy most people, including myself, as I'm not really what they call a prosumer or a pro user of phones. And really, I just use phones for browsing the internet, doing some research, reading Reddit, and social media as well. And of course, the occasional dog and family picture. But this phone is seriously opening my eyes to the value that mid-tier phones are bringing to the market. And honestly, if I was Samsung or Apple, it would be a bit scared. Well, maybe not scared, but it makes sense why Apple is investing so much into this new form of technology with the Vision Pro, just because now with technology catching up, mid-tier phones can be probably satisfactory for most people. I'm going to go through a quick list of pros and cons, and there are a lot more pros for the Xiaomi 13 Pro Plus than cons. The first is the biometrics. The Xiaomi 13 Pro Plus is incredibly fast and smooth, definitely better than Samsung's biometrics. It's either on par with the iPhone or even slightly snappier at times. And this instills a lot of confidence, as one of the most common things or most frequent things you'll be doing with your phone is to access it. You pick it up and then you immediately are able to get inside of it. Also, you can swipe from anywhere on the lock screen to get to the home screen, which is really nice, where Apple you have to swipe from the bottom, and Samsung you have to really swipe to be able to get to the home screen. Now, pro number 2 is the haptic feedback of the 13 Pro Plus, which feels really good. I don't know how they did it. They must have placed it on the frame or something, because every time you feel the haptic, you almost hear an audible buzzing sound, which might be annoying for people around you, but for the user itself, it feels really confidence inspiring to just get a nice, solid haptic feedback. And I'm just gonna type something in really quick so you guys can hear it. Pro number 3 is the always on display. Now, I actually don't really use always on display. I tend to turn it off, but the Xiaomi has a really cool function where it glows after you press the power button to turn off the screen. And then it pops up a really soft, gentle reminder that I'm here, I'm on, and then it goes away. So it's not really always on display, but I like how they incorporated that little touch to it to just make it feel a little bit nicer than just a black screen. Pro number 4 is the build quality. I probably should have started with this one, but in the hands, it feels pretty good. There are no weird jagged edges, and it's curved on the bottom and on the display, so it seams together at the edges. The fact that they paid attention to those details to make it just a really fluid experience, I think that's a big pro for the Xiaomi 13 Pro Plus. A couple of other pros are the included charger, which I think is a really nice touch in a world where they don't even provide the bricks anymore, although it has a USB-A port, which I think defeats the purpose. Who's using USB-A to USB-C to fast charge? Including case and screen protector is another pro. I feel a little bit torn about this one because at first, it feels very thoughtful for Xiaomi to give you all the tools necessary to protect your phone. A lot of people, or at least even me, when I buy my phone, I forget that I have to buy a case at the same time. And so then you have a couple of days where it's not without a case and without a screen protector. And especially if you don't have Amazon Prime where it can come the next day, it's just a frustrating process. But it's also weird because when they provide the screen protector and the case with the phone, it almost feels like they're compensating for potentially a body that can scratch, dent, break easily, and a screen that can scratch easily as well. But I don't think that that's the main purpose. I think the main purpose is to consider the user and provide with them the necessary things for just a really nice, safe, protected phone. Now, I don't know if this is really a pro, but I think the ads aren't too bad because once I choose a theme or a wallpaper, I don't tend to change it too much. And also, when you do go into the wallpapers, it doesn't pop it up every time, especially when you're looking at the native wallpapers. Themes are terrible. I mean, yeah, you get an ad every time you want to look at a theme. But if you're changing your themes once a week, maybe it'll be a little frustrating, but once you find one that you like, you're good and you're not going to hit too many other ads throughout. Yes, you'll hit a lot if you play games, but for someone like myself who I'm not playing games all the time, that's something that I don't really access. The screen is indeed wonderful. I'm not going to go into all the specs, but it gives you a really great smooth experience and the colors do pop. However, this leads me to my first con, which is the screen quality. Now, when you're just browsing internet article or you're just looking at some pictures, it's okay and it doesn't bother you so much. But when you're watching a video, you're quickly reminded that this is a mid-tier phone and not a top-tier phone. On paper, the screen itself should be quite confidence-inspiring, but for some reason, when I have it next to my iPhone or the Samsung, you can clearly tell that they had to cut corners somewhere. The con number 2 for me is the curved display. Now, this is frustrating just for me personally, so it's a little bit more subjective. It's hard for me to really know where the touch sensitivity part starts or where it doesn't. And when you're holding the phone, it's easy for you to grip around the curve and you accidentally press something. Now, this happens on all phones, but with the curved displays, I find that happens just a little bit more and just a little arbitrary as to where the screen starts to get feedback or where it doesn't. This is another nitpicking, but the software MIUI 14, there's something that's really frustrating with the notifications. Now, as you can see, you can scroll down from the left side of the top of the screen to get notifications and also scroll from the right side of the camera to get to your settings. However, you can't actually swipe away from both sides. What ends up happening is that you can swipe away to the right to clear a notification, but you can't swipe to the left because as soon as you swipe from the left, it takes you to the settings, which you already can do from just swiping from the right side of the camera. But it's weird that they don't let you swipe from both sides, which is, I think all Android phones should definitely have. And con number 4 is the camera. Now, I know they use a Samsung camera on this unit, but honestly, it doesn't really inspire me to take pictures. I can share a couple with you really quick here, but it's a little bit harder to show on a video, the camera quality. There are other reviewers who do a great job at that. But for me, if pictures were important, I definitely wouldn't invest into this phone or purchase this phone, as there are definitely other phones that you can probably get with nicer sensors, software to really smoothen out the images. But overall, if you need to take a picture of a family with good lighting and everyone staying still, it works. So in conclusion, there aren't really too many cons. I think there's a lot more pros. The UI 14 works fine. The phone feels great in the hand, and ultimately the phone itself is great if you don't really care about an ecosystem. You just want a phone that works. But in a world where these mid-tier phones are really catching up to top-tier phones, I would say that the Xiaomi 13 Pro Plus is a great option if you're just doing some light browsing and you're watching a few videos here and there and you don't really use the camera. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.